I got engaged to a blind Duke. Episode 182. A few days later, Ronny and his friends were led by Minnie's hand toward the cabin. As they stealthily approached near the cabin, Uncle in black clothes suddenly appeared. "You kids, why are you here again?" Ronny, intimidated by Uncle's cold voice, answered hesitantly. "I didn't want to come, but younger sister kept saying she wanted to see the rabbit." Joseph and Bree, who were standing beside him, quickly nodded their heads. "Rabbit good." Minnie, who was standing at the front, smiled innocently. Child discovered the rabbit rolling around in the sunlight and waved her hand. "Rabbit, hello." Uncle moved his body to block Minnie's view. "No. Go back." "Uncle. I want to say hello to Rabbit." Minnie looked straight at Uncle and spoke clearly. No, when Uncle coldly refused once again, tears welled up in Minnie's big eyes. "I want to say hello to Rabbit." No. Ronny, who was listening to their conversation from the side, looked at Minnie's face with concern. His brave younger sister was quite stubborn. Rabbit. Sob. Hello. Wah. Minnie finally burst into loud tears. At this, Al's eyes were colored with confusion. He had overcome countless dangers, but had never tried to comfort a crying child. Then Bunny moved. It came running thump and glared at Al with an expression asking why he made child cry. He could feel the other children also looking at him with resentful eyes. Al swallowed his saliva at the strange overwhelming pressure closing in from all directions. Bunny approached Minnie and presented its back to her as if telling her not to cry. "Rabbit." Minnie stopped crying abruptly and smiled brightly. Then she began climbing onto Bunny's back. The children watching this scene had both envy toward Minnie and fear toward the rabbit rippling in their eyes. "Minnie, aren't you scared?" "Not scared." "Rabbit good." I want to touch it too." Joseph gathered courage and reached his hand toward the rabbit. Bunny wrinkled its nose but stayed still. When the rabbit remained docile, the other children also reached out without hesitation and touched the rabbit's soft fur. Bunny lay flat on the ground with an annoyed expression while receiving the children's touches. Al looked down at Bunny with complicated eyes. Could Bunny still be called a demon beast? Watching Bunny together with the children's innocent laughter, Al quietly disappeared. Woodcutter Joe headed toward the hunter's shelter. Because of the gray wolf, he hadn't been able to climb the mountain for a while, making it difficult to make ends meet. He had finally reached the situation where he had to use the emergency money he had buried near the shelter without his wife knowing. The gray wolf wouldn't come down to the hunter's shelter near the village, so he didn't understand why this place was also prohibited. Just then, the cabin could be seen from very far away. But Joe couldn't take another step and froze in place. The rabbit was too big. What is that? A demon beast? A demon beast larger than a person was right next to the children. This is terrible. Joe ran away to the village without even noticing his shoe coming off. Running with all his might, he arrived in front of village administrator Rumor's house. And he knocked on the door loudly with his big fist. Bang bang. "Rumors, sir." Rumors, who looked even thinner with his pointed chin, opened the door with an annoyed expression. "Joe. What on earth is going on that you're making such a racket?" Other people could be seen behind Rumors. Meetings were being held daily about dealing with the gray wolf problem. The children are in danger." Joe spoke brokenly with a pale face. Sweat was dripping from his forehead. Rumors looked at Joe like he was a strange person. Coming here suddenly, what was he talking about? I saw it." "Saw what?" "It was huge." Joe's brown pupils, completely terrified, swelled up enormously. Rumors didn't want to talk anymore and coldly snapped. "You're not in your right mind. Go on your way. I'm telling you I saw it." "So, what exactly?" Rumors shouted as if frustrated. A demon beast. The villagers each grabbed pickaxes, shovels, and axes and headed toward the cabin. The children's parents followed behind, bursting into tears. Shadow Owl discovered the approaching villagers from atop a tree and furrowed his brow. In his hand was one man's shoe he had discovered belatedly. Because Bunny was with the children and he had focused all his attention in that direction, he had missed the man's visit. The villagers coming with all sorts of farming tools that could serve as weapons created an ominous atmosphere. It was a situation he absolutely couldn't handle alone. Al looked once at Bunny and the children, then hurriedly headed toward the Duke's castle. Meanwhile, the villagers who arrived near the cabin screamed at the sight before their eyes. Good heavens! It's really there! Ronny! Minnie! Sob. Village woman mixed among the villagers discovered the children and shed tears while stamping her feet. Mom? Minnie, who was playing while sitting on the rabbit's belly, was startled by Mom's crying and looked up. Joseph, who was selecting wood to use as a wooden sword behind the cabin, unconsciously hid at the villagers' appearance. Mom was also among the villagers. It would be terrible if he was caught. Ronny and Bree looked at each other with bewildered faces as they saw the village residents rushing toward them. What do we do? They told us not to go up the mountain. But why are they all carrying farming tools like that? Minnie, who had slid down from the rabbit's belly, stared at Ronny with a tense expression. Brother. Mom caught us. What should we do? Should we run away? Where did Joseph go? I don't know. While the children continued their conversation through eye contact, Burek, the largest man among the villagers, stepped forward. You demon beast. Let the children go. He shouted while threateningly swinging his axe. Demon beast? Ronny looked confused, not understanding what Uncle Burek was talking about. Where's the demon beast here? They said demon beasts are really scary. Aren't demon beasts scarier than wolves? Then, one of the villagers picked up a stone from the ground and threw it. Seeing this, the person next to him did the same, and so did the person next to them. Ouch! Minnie, who was near the rabbit, was hit by a flying rock. Blood flowing from her forehead dripped onto the floor. Minnie, are you okay? Ronny looked at his younger sister in shock. Minnie, Bree, seeing the blood, looked like he was about to cry and didn't know what to do. Grrrrrrr, the rabbit, who had been lying down with an annoyed expression, flashed its eyes. Bunny glared at the village resident who threw the stone while slowly getting up. Minnie. As her daughter bled, the village woman tried to run out in shock, but her husband blocked her way. It's dangerous. Minnie is bleeding. Grrrrrrr, as if protecting Minnie, the rabbit's teeth grew longer and longer. My goodness. That demon beast is baring its teeth. Kaya. Demon beast, it's a demon beast. People trembled in fear and quickly stepped back. Quickly notify the Duke's castle. Tell them a demon beast has appeared. The two fastest men in the village ran toward the Duke's castle. Minnie. Ronny. The village woman looked at the children with tears streaming down her face. Ronny pressed Minnie's bleeding forehead firmly with the hem of his clothes. Brother, why is Mom crying? The brave younger sister didn't cry from pain and worried about her mom instead. I don't know. Ronny rolled his eyes and looked around. He had no idea what was happening right now. Why are the villagers throwing stones at us? Why isn't Mom coming closer even though Minnie got hit by a stone?